Today's the day, finally. I'm gonna show you the Frosthaven commercial right now. But before you watch it, make sure you watch it with like headphones or earphones, or if you can project this video onto your TV, and if you have speakers, even cooler, because I really want you to be immersed into the way I edited this video, because I did edit it in surround sound. So anyways, enjoy, and I'll see you back here in about a minute. Now, some of you may have seen this already from the Cephalofair YouTube channel, which is absolutely amazing. It is the best feeling when you can recognize my work without me having to even say anything. And that is, it goes a long way. So for every one of you that saw that video and commented and recognized my work, you are the best. Hello everyone, welcome back to, you know exactly what I'm about to say. What's up, Wolfpack? It's so good to see all of you today. I hope you all enjoyed that commercial. If you did, let me know what you all think in the comments below, what you thought of the Frosthaven commercial. So today, I want to break down 3 major parts of this commercial because I feel like it would help you tremendously to see how I used some of these tools, because ultimately, you're always trying to ask yourself one question, right? And it's always, how can I take this one step further with every single video that I make? And in terms of the timeline, the video before this was Andromeda's Edge. So I asked myself that question is, how can I take this one step further with Frosthaven? And what I'm gonna talk about today is exactly how I addressed that point, or how I attempted to address that point. So if you are here and interested in how to take your video production up one notch further, this is the video for you. Or if you just wanna hang out and see how I made some of these videos, then stick around because I have a fun little story to share with you at the very end too. Okay, so for shot number 1 that I want to break down, it's actually in the very, very beginning. And what I used was this black wire that I have been using since day 1 of this channel. And I also used gaffer's tape. If you don't know what gaffer's tape is, it's a really strong tape and it doesn't leave residue, which is literally the ideal piece of filmmaking gear. If you are interested in making videos at all, you need some form of gaffer's tape. And I'll link everything down below if you're interested. So what I did for this one was the floating tiles, okay? Whenever you film board game maps, in whatever form they are, whether it's like a long piece of cardboard, whether it's a foldable, or whether they're tiles like they are in Frosthaven, it's always a challenging aspect in figuring out how you can make them interesting. So one way I figured would look cool was by levitating them, having them float in the air. And to achieve this effect, you need a tripod, and you're basically just going to take this wire, attach it to one board, and then of course you can use tape to attach the wire to the board. And then with those boards, you're just going to hang it up on like some kind of metal rod right above wherever you're shooting. So here's some BTS of how that worked. In this case, I took all these wires, I attached them to each of those boards, and you want to try to suspend them, that way they're all facing the same orientation. And then you also want to space them out, that way it looks way more interesting and dynamic, and you're also showcasing a lot of the different types of maps in Frosthaven. But then you're wondering, well, Tim, how do I take out those wires? We don't want to see that in post. Well, there are 2 ways you can do that, and 2 ways I also showed this in video. The first one is to make sure that you're cropping in the video to the point where you can't see the wire hanging above it. That's the easy way. The harder way, but the way with way more payoff, is by taking 2 shots. The first shot is going to be focusing in on one tile. So you set your autofocus on one tile, and then you film everything that way you can see all the wires suspending. Then you're going to leave your camera on autofocus off, and then you're going to film another shot, leaving the exact same settings as before, and you take all the wires down. And then in the edit, and of course I can always do a more detailed breakdown of this if you want to see it, but in the edit, you're just going to form a mask. That way, everything above that wire is gone. So that's going to be your negative space, and that's how it looks like all the tiles here are floating. So that's the first shot breakdown, and that is the floating tile shot. Let's move on to shot number 2. I got a whole brand new toy for this one. Now this crazy looking contraption here is a form of a turntable. It's a 360 turntable, and again, I'll leave links to all this down below because I don't know the specific name for this. But what it does is you're gonna put all of your minis or whatever you want to film right in the center. And it's wild because you don't get shots like this. On this side right here, that I'm pointing towards you, so your camera is gonna be pointing this way to counterbalance, because every time you put something on one side, just think of it like a seesaw, right? So it has to bounce on the other side. This side is going to be weights. So then from there, your camera again is pointing this way, and you're going to get a rotational shot, which is literally one of the coolest shots ever in filmmaking. I love turntable shots, and I use it specifically when filming the character minis in Frosthaven. What's even cooler is that you can also slow it down and then drop snow over like the minis that you're filming. And then there's so many different ways to introduce variety in this kind of shot. You can do a lot of cool things with the turntable. Most of our shots are either handheld, right, or they're top down. But with the turntable, you get this circling effect, and there's so many ways that you can increase the variety of the types of shots you take. You can change this angle too. If you just unlock this part here, this angle can go all the way to the top here. It can go all the way to the bottom. And this is just one form of a 360 table. There are a lot of versions of this. And you can even mount a screen, like a TV screen on this side. That way it looks like you're really immersing the viewers into whatever background your mini's in. So for instance, let's say I'm filming like some characters that are related to a volcano. So then I can project some lava or an actual volcano here with the TV, and then have red lights all around. That way, every time you're circling around, this TV will follow your characters as it goes. And then that makes a very, very immersive experience for your viewer. So that is shot number 2, the 360 turntable. We'll call it that. Okay, shot number 3. Now this is something that I have mentioned in the unfair video breakdown and a lot of videos I've used in the past, but I've never used it like how I did it in Frosthaven before. And that's what's really cool about these tools, right? It's like you revisit some of the old tools you have, and then you also realize, like, as you keep playing around with it, like, shoot, there are ways for me to really push out the potential in the tools that I already have. So I know this is just an acrylic tray, but you get me here. It applies to everything that you use for video production. So with this acrylic table, it's usually used as a monitor stand, but what's really nice about having it clear is that you can put pieces on top, and then you can also put pieces on the bottom. That changes the entire game, because in Frosthaven, what you see here is that I put the monster labels or the character labels right up top in terms of like the initiative order, like who takes their first turn. That was laid out on top. And then as I scanned the camera from whatever's on top of here, the initiative tokens, to below it, then you get to see the next shot, and that transitions really fast into the next one after that. So because you have this very, very sharp line, this allows you to go into the next one right away, because then your camera starts autofocusing in on the next set of details that is below that surface. And it also acts as a way for you to transition into the next shot. So just some creative ways for you to use an acrylic tray, and that was shot number 3. Now, obviously there are a lot more technical things to this commercial, but I just wanted to share a few things. That way it's very digestible and things that you can implement, very soon in your own video work. So with that said, let me share with you one quick story before you go, and I'll leave you at that. Looking back on this commercial, it's kind of wild, because I feel like it was just yesterday when I went out to a random dock to take Wingspan out onto the dock and just film something for fun. Or, take the tree from Everdell, go to a park and film with my literally my one camera, one lens setup that I have for 2 years. I didn't buy a single thing until I made money with that camera setup. And to look back to see, to waking up for sunrise, to get a sunrise shot of Wingspan in the early docks, to now working with one of my dream clients. Like, being able to work with Cephalofair has been an absolute dream. And it's been amazing working with them, obviously. And to be able to do a commercial for Frosthaven, that's insane. At the end of the day, photography just started out as an outlet for me. It was something that I did for fun because I couldn't get to where I wanted to be originally in my original career path. And to see how much it's prospered and how well it's done is super cool. And being able to work with all of these bucket list clients is literally a dream. I mean, come on, like Frosthaven. From B-roll and board games, filming with a janky Walmart table, to filming commercial Frosthaven, it's been a really fun and a very grateful ride for all of this has happened. So anyways, just want to share with you a little snippet. Gotta share the little wins, you know, because it keeps me going. And also gets me very excited to see where it goes next. But as always, I appreciate every single one of you listening, watching all of these commercials that I make, and yeah, for just being here and hanging out and supporting my work. With that said, thank you all so much, Wolfpack, and I will see you all on Wolfpack Wednesday. See you then.